Hello, welcome to Sabo Say a Lot. I'm here to show you my indoor garden. I've been in a battle with those fungus gnats for the last 2 months. I bought part of my plants in October, then I was needed to bring the other part in November, and I've been in this battle with these fungus gnats. I've had some success and some failures. And I just want to give you an overview of my garden and how I have it set up on tables. You know, when you don't have a lot of extra money to make lighting and shelving, there are some ways that you can still grow in the winter time. And I just wanted to give you an idea of what I've done, my lighting, what I'm using for wind, and then my temperature control. And how I found out ways to conquer those fungus gnats. Man, woo, woo, woo. It's been a battle. So I just wanted to show you a couple of the products I've been using in this battle against these fungus gnats to get in the soil and lay the eggs. Although you may just see a few of the gnats, they lay multiple eggs. And then they grow up and it's like a cycle of the larva, the eggs, and all that. But hydrogen peroxide. 1 part hydrogen peroxide to 3 parts of water. I did a little bit less than 3 parts, and that may have been a mistake because I wanted to make it a little bit stronger because I wasn't seeing the results that I needed to see. So this is one of the items that I used about once a week for about two weeks. Then I gave my plants a break and I let them drink some just regular water. Then I came back and I hit them with the mosquito bits. And the mosquito bits, I didn't put the regular granulars into the soil. What I did was I made a tea with warm water and I put me a little thing on here. 1 tablespoon per gallon. 4 tablespoons per gallon of these mosquito bits. And I started seeing better results. I think both of them worked, but I don't know if I just had so many in the soil and I can't figure out why. One of the things as I go around the room to show you the plants that I've lost and what I still have, you'll see my extra secret weapon. My garlic plants were being treated in another room, and as I treated the soil, the gnats started laying eggs up the stems. I guess they could tell the soil was treated, so I would just wipe off with a wet paper towel the little eggs, sometimes twice in a day. But they would relay the eggs once again. I knew they were eggs because when I touched them, they didn't fly away. This went on for about 4 or 5 days before I was in the clear. It's weird because they didn't do it on any of the other plants. Go figure. And so this was a cilantro plant, and it died. And a lot of the ones that don't have anything in it, I just pulled it up, and the roots were just totally eaten up. But I did cut off some cilantro before it finally met its demise. And this is a violet plant that died, and as I started fighting the gnats, and I took this one out of the room because I thought it was not going to make it, but it made a recovery. I cut off all the dead leaves. And these are my garlic plants, and they're holding on. This is a celery plant. I've been trying to let the soil get as dry as possible and then bottom feed it. And that's one of the things that I learned on um, from other YouTubers as I was finding out information. And this morning it was standing up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off all the dead leaves. We're going to record again in the morning. I'm going to change all of these little fly traps out, and then, see what happens in the overnight. I do have a couple of more plants, so let's go take a look at those. Those are going to be merged into this room as well. To assist my small in-home garden this winter, I have a small heater for temperature control, fan blows wind to help keep the plant stem strong, extra lighting, a lamp that has 2 plant lights for extended sunlight. Happy gardening! This was a bucket of collard greens that I did a mass seeding on, and I just waited too late to replant them. And that's not really why it's yellow, because I got a little overzealous because I was fighting so hard with fungus gnats that the last time that I treated it, I spilled too much on the leaves and it turned them yellow. I'm going to try to cut off the dead parts and repot them and just see if I can help them survive. I will not give up until they're no longer viable. And that's just Mother. She's the plant to many of my ivory plants that I use to keep my air clean. And that's another garlic plant. And these are my 4 pineapple plants that I did a video on earlier in the season, and they're still surviving and they're doing pretty good so far. I'm going to try to make them as healthy as possible so that I can get to that 2 to 3 year mark where I can actually see the pineapple fruit grow on the tree. So I'm looking forward to that. So it is possible to grow indoors. It's not all that easy, but it can be done. Okay, so it's been a full week since I changed out the little sticky gat traps. I guess that's what I'll call them. And so I don't have near as many bugs on those, although the collard greens, they didn't make it. My green pepper plants, they're still doing great. This one's turning red, however, it's not that large, so I'm going to leave it on as long as possible. I'm going to put some eggshells in the soil, and when it's time to water them again, I'm going to give them some food. I'm going to wait a while, let it get as dry as possible. The celery plant is doing great. It's still thriving and getting thick. I need to take off some of the yellow flowers, but overall I'm pretty proud of it. I've completely lost the garlic. I think with trying to treat it, I was giving them too much moisture, and I just kind of was moving this one around, and I don't think the fungus gnats ate the whole garlic bulb, but I think it just rotted off, so I don't think it's going to be safe to eat. All the soil that's remaining is going to go in this container. I'm going to take it out to the garage, and then I'll go ahead and put some hot boiling water on it to make sure that I clear out all the fungus gnats. And when the room is clear and nothing's coming up on the sticky, I'll go ahead and try to grow some other vegetables. I really want to be able to grow an indoor garden, so I'm not going to give up. And I guess next year I'll do better, and each year I should do better as I learn more. So I know you always are probably used to seeing all the good parts of gardening, but yeah, there are some incidents. And I'm seeing a couple of fungus gnats on the table. So I just wanted to wipe that down before I moved the other plants over. And I'm gonna use these Lysol wipes. That's one thing bugs don't like. They don't like clean. So I'm gonna clean it off with this. I'll probably change this tablecloth. They're just dollar store tablecloths. I'll go get another one. Throw this one out in the garbage. So this is the remake of the collard greens. It was a little bitty one. I was trying to transport them and the leaves kept falling off. But I said I'll still give them a chance since they were that hardy enough the leaves stayed on there. And I buried it all the way up to the top of the stem, but not really touching the dirt, just so they can have the strength that it's going to take. And I surrounded them with the little sticky trees that I got from the other plants. I have already started to fill up this container that I'm going to use. So I'm going to continue filling it up with soil. So I have everything set up to start emptying these pots and things like this, where you always want to make sure that the pots don't have a lot of roots. I mean, the soil doesn't have a lot of roots in it. So this is the ugly side of gardening. That's really, it's just experience. I don't want anybody to get deterred and not want to garden. Especially this spring. I have some special things in store for us starting off for the spring. I'll tell you what to get, and so we'll all be ready. But you never know. I don't know, I feel like there's one of those bugs on me because they're, you know when you see bugs, I could just like feel ones on my face. But make sure you take out the stems, any debris, and I'm going to pull hot scalding water over this. I'm going to take it out to my garage because I've done it before, so I know that there's going to be some films that are going to, and vapors that seep up from the soil, and so I don't want to do that in the house. And so I'm just going to dig down and make sure that there's no parts of the plant still left in the soil. I'm going to have a lot of soil. I don't know what I should grow. Anybody have any ideas of what's easy to grow on an indoor garden in the winter time? So the more you do things like this, you just keep failing forward. I do have some success on some of my plants, so that's something to be happy about. And as for these little sticky things, I'm just going to surround the other plants with them, just so I can catch all the bugs that are in the air. Like this still had some roots to it. And just go from there. Really, I did make a good soil mix. But having to fight those bugs, I think I just kept things too wet. So, these have had it. So now that I have to throw them out, and it looks like they're pretty much under control. I did one last treatment today, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to let them dry all the way out, and I'm going to start bottom watering the plants again. See, this one had a lot of roots. I don't know if you can see those roots. So I'm just going to take that out. If it was summer and hot outside, I'd wait for it to compost in. I'll compost in, but I'm just going to go ahead and get this taken care of and out of the way. My plant! I'll put on lipstick for you. My plant! There we go. So stay tuned, and I'll try to get the material together to help everyone get ready for spring, all of you new gardeners, so that you can start trying to learn how to grow your own food, save some money, and be a little bit more self-sufficient. Self-sufficiency is starting to become everything. The way food prices are, we don't know what's going to happen next summer because they're talking about all these droughts. We got food coming up tainted. The safest way to secure you and your family is to grow your own food. Until we meet again. I couldn't believe what I found in the soil. An earthworm. I wonder if they eat fungus gnats. That joke was pretty long too, isn't it? Wow.